Alright, if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our main conversation right now. It's been a tension-soaked past 24 hours as Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State led a strong delegation to the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission office in Port Harcourt in the early hours of Friday following the alleged attempt to break into the facility to cut away materials meant for Saturday's local government election.
Policemen allegedly deployed from neighboring Abia State were said to have stormed the place to carry out the mission forward by Fubara and his men. Top government officials such as the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Edison Ehe, Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly loyal to Governor Fubara, Victor Oko Jumbo, National Assembly members loyal to the Governor trooped to the Commission's office to foil the operation.
It was learned that police officers led by a Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations at the Rivers Command had moved to the Commission's office at about 1 a.m. on Friday.
A press statement issued in Port Harcourt in the early hours of Friday by Governor Fubara's Chief Press Secretary, Nelson Chukwudi, alleged that the policemen attempted to scale through the gate in the strong room of the Commission to cut away sensitive electoral materials meant for the conduct of Saturday's local government election in the state. And they also alleged that the deployment was ordered by the Inspector General of Police, addressing newsmen in front of the Commission's office after an encounter with the policemen. Fubara condemned their conduct, alleging that the IGP was taking his friendship with some Abuja-based politicians too far. He said withdrawing policemen already deployed to protect the facility and replacing them with a detachment from a neighboring state was unacceptable.
He also reminded the IGP that local government election was the internal affairs of states and advised him to allow federating units conduct its affairs without interference. Well, the police has denied all these, but what they will say of the video evidence is what remains to be heard. That's our reportage for this morning. Now let's get into our conversation. Joining us from Abuja, Barrister Van Sufeli, Barrister at Law and Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Barrister Van Sufeli.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And also from Lagos State and Nigeria, we have Shodinde Peters, Public Affairs Analyst. Good morning to you, Peters.
Yeah, good morning, Enterprise TV. Good morning, Nigerians, and welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much. And of course, we have in the studios with us Cyril Abaku, journalist and public affairs analyst. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Henry and Chairman. I'm glad.
All right, so let's get into the cracks of the matter. I'd love to start with you, Barrister Vance Ofeli. Of course, we understand the responsibility and the rules of the state electoral commissions to conduct elections, but of course at a time when this is becoming problematic, do you think it's time to give it to the country to help conduct this election? I mean, the Independent National Electoral Commission from the Abuja to do this better, since the State Electoral Commission is finding it difficult having it all added up together?
Well, River State has been a theater of war for the past 1 year plus. And remember that last year there was an order of court mandating Fubara to conduct local government election. You understand? As at that time, the tenure of office of the current chairman had not expired, and the councillors alike had not expired. The court made that order, the governor ignored the order, and didn't make preparation to conduct that election at that time because he was facing weaker and all that. Now, when it has become necessary that election must be conducted, he now did that announcement, made the announcement 3 months ago, to the fact that the election will take place on Saturday. And I've gone ahead to declare public holidays, to enable preparation and everything to be in order for the election to hold. Now, there is a subsisting court order again that says that the police should not provide security. The police and every other security agents should not provide security for the elections. And so the order also restrained INEC or the SEC from providing material to that effect. So what we are seeing in Rivers State is a palpable tension that tomorrow might be a very bloody day because the governor is unperturbed. He wants to go ahead with the elections, despite all the hiccups, despite all the encumbrances that surround the process, which is orchestrated from the dispute between Fubara and Wike and their followers alike. So as it stands today, the level of confusion in Rivers State is one that requires urgent attention. I mean, the judgment of the Federal High Court that says security agencies should not be provided for, I don't know why it was not appealed immediately, and I don't know whether they appealed and then the appeal court have not decided. But there's a need for us to allow peace to reign. Local government election under the Nigerian Constitution is valid. It's not an alien practice. Okay? When the tenures of chairmen and councillors of local government are expired, the reasonable thing to do under the law is to conduct a local government election. And so I don't see why that election should not take place. And I don't know why we're having court orders, conflicting court orders, just on that simple issue of allowing for. So, you see, this goes to show you that in Nigeria, our institutions are not strong. They are not strong. We have strong people, not strong institutions. And we have said this over and over again that we cannot move forward with this kind of practice. Now, you see the human elements that are fighting against the entrenchment of democracy. Just because there is a dispute between a past governor and a present governor, and people are taking sides on both ends. And so they want to make democracy impracticable in that state. But,
Pastor Francis Feli, yes, I wanted to ask, because this is your area of strength, a situation where the court in Port Harcourt is saying something different from the court in Abuja. Don't you think that's a conflict of interest in itself and equally part of the problem that we have?
It's part of the problem because you have conflicting judgments. Okay, and this conflicting judgment is coming from two courts that have concurrent jurisdiction. Okay, so which one would you choose now? Is it the one from Rivers or the one from Abuja? So which one are you going to choose? So that's the conflict we're having. And that conflict is so bad that sometimes when the courts in the state have delivered a judgment on an issue, they go to the courts in Abuja to file something similar. May not be the same. Sometimes they're the same. The one in Abuja will give a different order. But we should know that there's an order before now for this election to be conducted, which the governor did not follow at that time last year, did not adhere to immediately. So at the end of the day, if the election cannot hold, because we have also under our laws, where there is insurrection, where there is war, or where there is disease and pestilence, or where it has become impracticable for election to hold, whether it's state, whether it's federal, local government, and whatsoever it is. There's a provision under the law that the tenure of office of the subsisting or the outgoing chairman and councillor should be extended to a period wherein the state is able to come up and have that election conducted. It appears that's where this thing is going to, because if police does not provide security in an election, what will happen? There will be violence.
Definitely.
There will be no election. In fact, there will be no election. What we will have is war, and war is not part of democracy. It's not one of the principles of democracy.
Thank you, Barrister Evans.
So I think that this should be properly addressed.
Okay, thank you. Peter Shodenge, looking at the police who are supposed to, in questions, bring about peace and the smooth rolling of an election, and yesterday, or in the early hours of this morning, the police officials deployed to, or were instructed by, in quotes, their IGP to go collect election materials, and the sitting governor had to go in to stop them from doing the wrong thing in court. Now, how do we see the police now doing the right thing when the ballot boxes are on the table and citizens are coming out to vote?
Are you there?
Peter, should I indict there?
I'm sorry. Thank you once again for having me on the program. The first thing I will mention here is I liked where Barrister Evans dropped it. That initially the governor had the opportunity last year to have conducted this election, but because most of them they enjoyed all these caretaker local government chairmen that they can rubber stamp, collect their money and use it for whatever they want to do. Until the Supreme Court judgment came, and all of them now found themselves that, okay, this allocation, we won't get it until we have constitutionally elected local government officials. That's why you can see all of them running up and down, now trying to cross their T's and dot their I's. But Wike, also being a major participant in this matter, we know the problem between Wike and Fubara. So, except we want to deny ourselves. All of them know that this election is just a joke in all states of the Federation. They write the results. Tony Okocha said it. He's a Rivers person. And I said, we used to write this thing. They know Fubara already has his results. And he has moved his chairman to a new party, APP. So Wike does not want to be outsmarted. And I think because of that, they had approached the court under the guise that, under the guideline, it was supposed to give a 90 days notice before the election. Now you only give 30 days notice. And I don't know how they were able to convince the judge, and the judge has said INEC should not release voters register. The police should not participate. And if you look at the laws and guidelines, those are very critical people. So I wonder if the election goes ahead and it is challenged tomorrow, what will happen? And I'm not even sure, just like Barrister Evans said, we are going to have a lot of hula baloo in Rivers State tomorrow. You said the police had been there this morning, though I have not seen the police affirm or confirm that they were the ones that sent those people there. But what I know very well is the police is trying to abstain from whatever will happen there. Maybe the only thing they will just do is to maintain law and order within the people, but I doubt if they will participate in the electoral process. Then I wonder, what type of security will the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission use tomorrow to conduct that election? Where will they get the voters register? Where will they get all the materials? So by now, I am expecting that the National Security Advisor, or at least the Vice President, should be in Port Harcourt by now, trying to find a solution to this thing, trying to make sure that there's no breakdown of law and order, because whatever happens in Rivers State can affect the whole country. We know that is where Nigeria's bread is buttered. That is where we have almost 70 to 80% of our income coming from. So we will suffer it if Rivers State goes in flames. I feel that they have taken this matter too long. We all know, except we want to deceive ourselves, it's basically political. Whatever is happening here is a godfather trying to outdo the godson that's come. I know this game more than you. And now that we have courts of coordinate jurisdiction giving conflicting orders, we wonder how tomorrow is going to look like. To be sincere to you, between me and you, I do not know what will happen in Rivers State tomorrow. But I know very well that if any election holds in Rivers State, without the police, without INEC confirming to have given them materials, it might just be a waste of time. That's what I'm thinking. But now the federal government has said, the Supreme Court, I think the federal government has agreed with state governors that the latest 31st of October, we want constitutionally elected local government chairmen, or else you will not get allocation. What will now become the fate of Rivers State? There are people in all local governments. So for me, it's also still a very big dilemma. And I think by now, the president should, or maybe I will say Abuja, the president is not in town, should be able to meddle in these affairs and find a way between these two major actors and see what can happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Cyril Abaku, those who are against the Fubara have come up to say that how would he conduct elections without proper voters registration? I don't know how true that is, but help us, bring us up to speed.
Well, so I'm not aware if INEC has specifically denied handing over the voter register to ROCEC.
Okay.
And I have not seen where INEC has denied, because there is audio, video, and written evidence, when I mean publications, where we saw INEC hand over, after last year's election, sometime between, I think that thing lasted between June and October last year. INEC handed over the voter register for, wards, units, councils, senatorial to ROCEC.
Okay.
It's something that is done normally. They say, okay, this is what we have now, so that when you guys want to hold your local government elections and any other thing that you want to do, you are able to do it seamlessly and smoothly. So to say that the election shouldn't hold because ROCEC does not have voter, that for me is not an argument that stands, that can stand, because ROCEC has also come out to confirm that indeed INEC has handed over the River State voter register to it. I'm just bothered, okay, those who are for and against the elections, are they for and against it because it is legal or illegal? Are they for and against it because it is moral or immoral? Are they for and against because it is political and maybe impolitic? I don't know where we really want to stand. This morning, what we saw happen, and we've seen video evidence of what happened at the River State Election Commission offices, okay, where policemen came, whatever it was they came to do. The governor and his men had to go there to thwart what could have happened. The claim is that they went there to cut away election materials.
Sensitive ones.
And that the governor and his men also went there to thwart to stop it. The other guest was saying that the NSA should be in Port Harcourt. But you see, the thing is that he who goes to equity must go with clean hands. Before you want to go and clean up River State, you first clean up your house. The IG of police and all the security apparatchik are more or less have a clearinghouse who is the NSA. It's like they are brought before the main boss. Has it been properly briefed of what police are to do in River State today? Is the police that has claimed now that they will not take part in the who have to choose which court order to believe, are they still a neutral party in the process? Are they still a neutral party in the process? Does the police still have the moral right to take part in the elections? Even if statutorily and constitutionally they can be there for the sake of, but is the police still a neutral party? So with all of this on the table, we are asking, if you don't want elections to hold in university, what then should stand? Should we believe the lawmakers who said that, the chairman, is it Peter Wanosika, who said that they had the power to, there was a funny law that we are citing, that by that law that they could stay in office beyond their constitutionally awarded limit in office. Is that the one we should accept? Everything that Wike and his camp, with due respect, want to accuse Governor Fubara of doing, he as governor did a lot worse. If Wike came into office, overnight, because when Wike came into office, I think it had just been a few months when Amici had conducted local government election. He told all of them to go. I remember, I think it was Justice Abadu Fishim that ruled and said that. He told all of them to go. And Wike's opponents have given us a litany of such court orders that the man didn't obey as governor and even as minister. But it is not about sentiment, okay? It's not by saying because you broke the law, we are going to break the law. So that's what I'm saying. Are we for and against the election because of moral, political, or legal reasons?
Right.
Let's do understand. But to have seen to have seen what those police went to do at ROCEC office at 1 a.m. this morning, come on. I'm wondering, what are we now turning this whole thing into?
Very, very sad. Yes.
Barrister Evans Sufili, I want to actually read out what Fubara communicated, and he said the River State Independent Electoral Commission has expressed and demonstrated concrete and variable capacity and readiness to conduct the 2024 River State local government elections on October 5, 2024. And all 17 out of 18 registered political parties have expressly and actively demonstrated their willingness to participate. Now, at this point, we'll ask, is that something Wike is scared of, that he don't want to come through? Because if he should, he on the other hand would not be in power as he has put himself to be, and that is what Fubara is trying. Similar, Fubara is trying to subdue. Now, what is your reaction with this thing that is happening? How far can it go come tomorrow?
Well, Nigerian politics is so is what we play is selfish politicking, okay? And you know, politics thrives on followership, supporters, okay? Even though Wike is at the center now as the FCT minister, he had done so much to consolidate his following or supporters back home there in Rivers State. And he's doing that at the expense of the dividend of democracy in the state. Fubara had to confront so many distractions. Okay, and it is really difficult to truly say that Fubara has enjoyed his 1 year and a half now as a governor, because at every junction, okay, at every point and turn, Wike is yelling somewhere, you know, sending people to disrupt here and there. Of course, he's scared of irrelevance. He's scared of irrelevance. Wike wants to continue to be relevant in the politics of Rivers State in perpetuity. Okay, but that will not work, because in politics, you cannot entrench yourself to the point where you determine everything that happens in the state. You determine whether children will go to school. You determine whether the state should undertake a project or not. You determine whether the people of River State should wake up or they should go to bed from Abuja. I mean, what kind of system is this? You know, it is only selfish. It is self-serving. There is nothing democratic about what Wike is doing in the state. And you see, with all this, they have huge followers, huge supporters. So our politics only strive on selfishness. Those people that are following Wike now, why are they following him? Because he's giving them money. That is it. Not because Wike is projecting River State or growing River State or has made River State. Does Wike have a project in River State? Does he have a company where he employs people in River State? Does he have an investment in River State? Okay, what is Wike's interest in River State? The only thing I know about Wike's interest in River State is that Wike is from River State. That's the state of origin. That's the only thing. That's the only contribution Wike has contributed to River State. Then built two or four bridges when he was governor.
12, exactly.
As far as I'm concerned, what he's doing now, no, see, what he's doing now has eroded whatever it is he built in River State. Because when you build credibility, you structure a state, you do development, build roads and all that. What you should do when you are no longer there is to seek for sustainability of those things. You understand? Support whoever is there to sustain and develop further the things you have done. If Wike is truly public spirited, will he be fighting the governor to the point where the governor is not able to find his feet in the scheme of things? I mean, this is very, very wrong. So what it means is that all the while, Wike did all he did in River State with selfishness, because now someone is there, he doesn't want to assist that person to sustain what he has built. That's selfishness. So it means he was never for the people who have an issue. That's only what is going on. And he wants to perpetuate and entrench himself. You say whether he's scared of anything. Of course, he's scared of being irrelevant in the politics of River State. And it is bad.
If you say Wike was never there for the people, can you say same Fubara now is there for the people?
Fubara is the current governor of River State.
True.
Okay. Now, that position is an acid test. Okay. Is to test whether it's for the people or whether it's for the people or not. But you have not allowed him to write the test. You have not allowed him to. We can't produce result when we have not, engaged in the examination. allow this man to move forward. Let that space now be the test to see whether he has capacity to perform or not. But he's not allowed to do anything. At every point, there's problem. At every point, there's problem. And in all this, people see what Wike is doing, still want to, they keep supporting him in all that he's doing. So I think the people are largely the problem in a way. Then their leaders are part of the problem.
All right, I think we're having poor network connection. But let me get to you, Peter Shodende. The section 197 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, provided the powers for the establishment of state independent electoral commissions to conduct elections to local government councils. Just 2 weeks back, the Anambra State local government election was held, and ABGA, of course, swept the entirety of the elections in the state. Now, pundits have come up to say, is this how we equally intend to deal with this situation eventually when we have state police? Because, of course, it becomes an evidential tool in the hands of state governors. Because with what we see with state independent electoral commissions in the hands of governors, and they wield it as much as they can, don't you think that would equally replace a police command if it eventually becomes a state instrument? Mr. Peters, did you get that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you get my question?
Yes, I got.
Beautiful.
Yes, I got your question. You are trying to relate having state police together with state independent electoral commissions.
Yes, especially knowing what the governors have used the state independent electoral commissions to do.
Yes, the governors, because of their overbearing attitude and power, they try as much as possible to make sure that every apparatus of the state is in their favor. But why I would prefer to differ when it comes to state police is because election happens only once in 4 years or once in 2 years for local government. But security is an everyday affair. It is not as bad as if we have state security, then the state governor would not allow the police in the state to function just because election is coming or because anything wants. You see, the state police idea is such that intelligence gathering is very, very important. It's very difficult for you to bring a man who does not know my terrain, who does not speak my language, who does not know my culture, to be able to effectively police me until you begin to have security that is close to the people of a local government who know each other, policing each other. They know when a stranger is in. They know when something is changing here. That is state policing, intelligence gathering. It is not all about election, because that policeman too is also buying from same market as we are. We are the ones that all we need to do is, okay, can we change the electoral system whereby the voting will now be on our phone? We do not need to go somewhere. No police needs to carry gun and force me to vote for A, B, C, D. So there are two different kettles of fish entirely. Okay. You cannot lump state police together with elections. If we have very good laws, well, look at America now. They don't. You can post your vote. Definitely. And it will count. On your phone. You can log in and vote and it will count. You don't need the police to drag you up. So the argument that one governor somewhere will sit down and use a police is still primitive to me. If we have a very, very good system on ground, I think very well it will better help us rather than I see the positives in state police. When people tell me about the negative, you can't use 1 year or one election in 4 years to destroy security of every day. People are kidnapping every day. People steal every day. There is abuse in homes every day. So you need security by your side every day. But so that we don't miss where we are coming from, which is the case of Rivers State. And my brother in the studio was talking about not knowing about INEC saying they had not released register. It's there in the news. INEC has said we have not released. They wrote us 2 times last year that they need the register, and we have not given to them. So, and I wonder how they will conduct that election. I always liken the case of Rivers to Edo State. Look at Edo State when Obaseki was looking for power. He got power, then suddenly wants to become that same kingmaker Oshiomhole. He was accusing Oshiomhole of, he wants to be same thing. Same thing you will see Fubara now. Let him win this cause. You will see what will happen in the next. Politicians are saying, whether Labour, whether APC, whether PDP, to them it is about who gets what, when, and how. We are the only ones that are sentimental here. What was Fubara looking at when he went to the State House of Assembly to demolish the place? Do you know how much it will cost River State to put up another edifice? So all of them are very, very careless. All of them. So I have no horse in this race, and I'm still trying to imagine what will happen in River State tomorrow.
All right, but Stefan Sofeli, I wanted to ask you, unfortunately, what should be a deciding factor when we come and talk about elections, of course, should be the electorates. In Nigeria, the judiciary, the court has the final say for every election, so almost. When you look into the crystal ball, the legal crystal ball, what do you see? What are those things you think would happen if this election, of course, does happen tomorrow, especially from those who are against Fubara?
Well, I didn't get your question fully, but all I can get from it, I'll answer. If the election goes on against an order of court, okay, or the order is that police shouldn't provide security, not necessarily that there shouldn't be an election. Well, if it goes on, it will be highly challenged from what I'm seeing, because if it goes on, we are going to have violence. That's inevitable, because the two sides are, they are not, because this is a local government election of a thing. It's not even an election on the merit, okay? It's an election where the ruling party in the state sweeps everything. Maybe with this disruption now, we will not have it on the merit. Maybe other political parties will take advantage of it and maybe win 1 or 2 local governments. Maybe this disruption might be a blessing in disguise for there to be a proper election. Who knows? Because if everything is peaceful and calm and everything, it's one party that will sweep everything.
Just like we had in another state.
Lagos too. And so maybe this is an acid test. Maybe we should have more wars, outgoing governors and substantive governors having problems, so that elections can become free and fair, or they can all compete on the basis of merit. That is, if insecurity does not erode the whole thing, they now compete on the merit, then perhaps that is if also the umpire in the states, because all these things we are talking about, if we don't also address the umpire, who have a tendency, a very strong, tendency to change the face of the entire election itself. That is important. We seem to be forgetting that if they are not going to play by the rules, the proper rules of democracy, you are still not going to have a good outcome. But ultimately, you conduct election, you don't conduct election in Nigeria. People win, people lose in Nigeria. The result is always the same.
But speak to us speak to us, please, on the sudden change of political party. Fubara, as men have all, of course, flown to the APP, and there seem to be what I would call highly a suspect, where we have PDP having a collusion, and also a collusion with the APC fighting Fubara, of course, who would possibly move to APP. So how do you think this will be contested in court if it goes through?
I don't know what Fubara is trying to achieve with this APP thing. You understand? I don't know what he's trying to achieve. They say the political actors, they say they know more than us who are bystanders. I don't know what he's trying to achieve with that APP thing, because the man also have a proclivity for excesses. And so that departure and that building from maybe Cyril, who is from River State, will understand the dynamics proper in that area, because I do not see it as a way forward that you are having problem within your party, the leadership of your party and all that. You are unable to solve it. Then the next thing is to move ship to join one and start to create one party that have no root, no stamina in the state, and that is the party you want to use because you are incumbent to do mandate. I don't. As much as I try to say that the people should be fair to Fubara, his decisions most times is maybe that's why Wike also used to fight it, because he has this one-way thought process. He just faces one side and is just there. Yeah, you start to ask yourself, is it not this man that we're defending? Why is he doing this one? Remember when the court told him to go and I'm not telling you.
Sorry, I had to come in into what you are saying. So you see, what I think Wike is trying to do, Fubara is trying to do, is he knows Wike has PDP in his hands in River State. Even at the center, Damagum, who is the acting national chairman of PDP, is still with Wike. The only thing he can do is all these local government people that are loyal to me, let me push them to a party outside PDP. Let them get power. Once they get this constitutional power, we will see money. Because at the end of the day, he knows he can't survive in PDP. He will move to the APP. They all just want to try their own, that once we have the financial strength, then we can also create a structure that Wike is relying on. So everybody trying to outdo each other, but Wike knows the game that comes. I know where you are going.
Is it that he's trying to do
it has happened in Ogun State before. You will see Amosun. In Ogun State, you see Amosun in APC went to create Akinlade in another party, whereas he is sitting as the head of APC, sitting there beside Buhari. So we know what politicians do. We know the end game is still power. They just want to remain relevant.
So but whether Fubara is the right person, is it because Wike is in bed with APC and still in PDP? That's the model that Fubara wants to now exhibit by creating the APP structure and beginning PDP.
That is APP, yeah.
Now, looking at what's happening, it's as though the battle line has been drawn, and Fubara is trying as much as possible to play his chess real well. And can you say categorically that Fubara is playing real well and will beat Wike to his game?
Well, I mean, if tomorrow's elections go to plan and the APP sweeps the polls, then Wike is gone.
Really?
Yes, of course. No, that would have taken the rug off of Wike's feet. What every politician is as strong as a structure is, what they call structure, and structure has to do with power at the grassroots. That is Wike's strength. That is Wike's spring. So if Fubara is able to put his men into local government councils, what then he would have limited Wike to being an Abuja man. That was the same thing Wike did to Amechi. In 15, he came in and told all the elected councilmen to pack their bags and leave the councils. He put his men there. Amechi now became an Abuja politician who had no backbone, no home base. Once a politician does not have home base, he's as good as done for. So that's what if Fubara is able to achieve that, okay. In addition to that, I just want to say that besides, I mean, the point I made earlier about RCEC being given INEC voter register, I am not so sure, frankly speaking, Chairman, that any of the court rulings specifically said elections should not hold. INEC, don't give them voter register. Police, don't provide security. Those two things do not stricto sensu in law amount to saying elections should therefore not hold. I mean, when I heard what the governor was even saying about to the police IG around that 1 a.m., 2 a.m. this morning, this is the shame of a nation. It's a crying shame. Imagine a governor calling the proof of the IG of police and saying this is a fraudulent police IGP, and that if he's not careful, he will add his own body. He will soon be part of the history of those he shot while. And I'm asking, what has brought us to this level? An election is less than 24 hours away, Henry and Choma. We're not talking about who wants to build schools, who wants to boost agriculture. We are talking crass politics, very primitive politics, naked power. What is this? And we'll say that we are developing. Frankly speaking, I may be wrong, but I'm even wondering that a local government election that is supposed to be conducted by a state election commission into council offices in the Federal Republic is having Federal High Court speaking into a pre-election matter on such an issue. Are we even that in the Electoral Act there's a portion that stops courts from stopping elections from holding? Because elections follow timelines. I think it was Mr. Shodele that was even talking earlier about the fact that there's a moratorium on the Supreme Court judgment that's about October 31. If you don't have an elected council, why should any court in its right mind say that the election should not hold?
No.
Can you say that? Because I mean the law also says May 29 every 4 years there's a new government in Nigeria. Should a court now say the election should not hold in the presidential election? Imagine what that would be. So courts are naturally prevented, are told not to even prevent elections from holding. Like I said, I've not read any management that said elections should not hold in River State. If they say don't give them a voter register, it is one thing. If they say police don't press security, is another. The governor even say police whether on no come, we'll secure ourselves. We should not. A government should not be resorting to self-help when there's a police. What was the police meant to do? We were talking the other day about the fact that all the functions the police should be doing have been taken over. DSS has taken some, EFC has taken some, NSCDC has taken, even Federal House of Reps, the National Parliament is also taking some. And yet this same police will come solo. We saw the vans now, the one like anti-bomb squads, 2 police vans leave after the government and chase them. They are leaving the premises. What did they go there to do? And why is it that by now we're not even talking about the police agencies saying we don't know where they went, we sanction them? Nobody will send it because they send them there.
But seriously, I've always questioned why. Why do you think this is the case? The judiciary should interpret the laws for us. Now it's becoming the journalists are beginning to help them interpret the laws. So why is this so?
Let me help. Do you know who the loser is in this matter? The loser is the judiciary itself. The courts are the losers. Courts of coordinated jurisdiction cannot be giving conflicting orders. You are only leaving those who are supposed to be enforcing the judgment to choose the one they will obey. And in the end, it means that the judiciary has been used. So the judiciary is the loser, yet the courts are the losers. And you will not hear anything about judges being sanctioned for giving fraudulent, frivolous, and worthless judgments and rulings. Because I think if we have that a bit more often, by now maybe some of them would have taken notice and said, if you come to my court, please, I can't do. Yes, because an election is based on timetable. How would you even issue a judgment that could, I'm not saying did, but that could truncate the election? You see, and lastly, I'm not a lawyer.
Yes.
There is when people in 2023 they used an ex parte motion. You know what an ex parte motion is? An ex parte motion is when you run to a judge to cry for urgent intervention. The other party may not even be there. But typically I would think is to give a temporary relief. They use ex parte motion to cut off the entire ESCOM Labour Party. That kind of judgment, you should tell them, no, I can't do this. Get the other party, let's also hear what they have to say. But they use an ex parte motion. What kind of quick judgment do you want to get that can put the nation into darkness? And it was meant to be an urgent judgment. What urgency is that?
Very so unfortunate, Pastor Francis Feli, just before we wind up, please, I want you to speak to this. Very so important. It has become a caricature of some sort that journalists like us and the pundits are the one helping the judiciary to interpret the laws they should be interpreting to us. Do you have any justification for that? Pastor Francis Feli, can you hear me?
Is that for me?
Yes, yes, for you, please.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
The journalists cannot interpret any law. Don't go there.
Barrister, please, for a second. Barrister, for a second. I beg to differ with you. Barrister, please, for a second. May I just intervene? In Kaduna,
yes.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. A journalist not trained to interpret law. Okay? He's trained his own craft to hold government accountable to the people. And in the process of doing that, he needs to report what the journalist cannot rely on it analyzing law. Because even the journalists, when they get there, most of the times when you read their report on law, except for those newspapers that have lawyers in their editorials, those are the ones that get it very right, like The Guardian and Vanguard. Every other one where they don't have lawyers in the editorials, they get, I mean, sometimes you are in court, you witness a proceeding. By the time you get a newspaper and read what they are reporting there, you will see that it's not their fault anyway, but you are not trained in that process. So to say that the journalists are the one helping to interpret, no. The journalists are helping to report what has happened, not to interpret the law. The law is interpreted by the courts, and then the journalists will then do a reportage of it to the wider public, because they are a fourth estate of the realm. They are very critical in this assignment of public service. Okay? Now, see what is happening. Sometimes when court give conflicting judgment, they might not be on the same issue. Okay? We have criticized the court repeatedly for court of coordinate jurisdiction, delivering rulings, conflicting rulings on issues. Okay? Now, if a court files, if a party, a litigant files a case in Rivers State High Court, for example, okay, and while that is ongoing, another party, another person different from those ones in Rivers State High Court comes to the Federal High Court and file a matter, the court is going to rely on the evidence before it. The one in Rivers will rely on the evidence before it. The one in Abuja will rely on the evidence before it. Most times, the evidence available to the one in Rivers is not the same evidence available to the one in Abuja. Okay. The two courts will deliver ruling based on the evidence before them. And if it leads to conflict ruling from both sides, it means nothing to the court. The court acted based on the evidence before it. You will not move the hand of the court to deliver a judgment because another court delivered the judgment that will, therefore any other court must deliver the What will prevent is multiplicity or duplicity. That when a matter has been filed somewhere, you know that you bring it to file another place. They ask you to depose an affidavit that you have not filed this matter in any place. If it turns out that you filed the matter somewhere else, then they can take the counsel up for disciplinary measures, because it is this kind of thing that will lead to conflict judgments or conflict rulings. But there are cases where the person who filed in Rivers does not even know the person who filed in Abuja, but the issue is on the same thing, and the evidence before the two courts are different. Judges are not spirit. They will act based on what is before them. And if you conflict with any other rule anyway, it means nothing under the law. So it's not the judiciary's, it can only be the fault of the counsel, the lawyers. Okay, that's why you ask them to depose of it. But for the court that is not aware that the matter has been filed somewhere, now you not expect that court to always at the same time, and that the evidence are different. The parties' prayers before the court are not the same. If the prayers are not the same, the evidence are not the same, and they are technically on the same issue, you will have conflicting judgment. Nobody can stop that. You will. You understand? So what the judiciary have done so far is to ensure that if you have filed a matter, so don't do forum shopping, don't take it to another place. And if you must, or in all cases, you have to now depose that affidavit. And that affidavit is what they use to trace the lawyer who is involved and take them before the committee. Many have been sanctioned as regards that. But when it comes to issues where both sides don't know each other, cases are filed, different evidence, and the rulings come conflicting, you cannot do anything about it.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barrister Evans Ofeli. Peter, can we get your parting shot, please?
Yes, my parting shot is to the people of River State. They should go out peacefully tomorrow. If they are secured enough, maybe they will cast their votes. And I don't expect them to wait for their votes to be counted. They should just vote and go home. Don't wait for your votes to be counted. It's the local government election, and I can tell you, it's from those states to Anambra to Imo to the ruling party where the governor likes will sweep everything. So I think Fubara already has the results he wants to release. So
Allegedly.
I don't think you guys should kill yourself. It is safety first. It's only the person that is alive that will know what is happening between Wike and Fubara. So I wish them well in River State. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Peters. To update it.
The way I look at this whole thing is to think, I want to speak earlier about.
Yes, exactly.
In Kaduna, when the court said that, when the court ruled on the governorship election, everybody went to town by saying that the PDP, because if you read that judgment actually, it was as if the court said the PDP won. Till today, we don't know how they told us that it was the APC the court meant to say won that election, but let's leave it. Now, you see, the PDP and the APC have fought too dirty, they fought too slimy, and people are tired of them, I think, in Rivers. So for the first time, the APP seems to be a party that comes with some kind of a breath of fresh air. So I won't be surprised if they swept the entire election. Nobody's going to write any result tomorrow. Because I've not been there when it is written. But I can tell you that the APC and PDP have been there for long, and people just, I think, want a breath of fresh air. So if they win the whole election, I will not be surprised.
All right, so we'd love to say thank you so very much to Barrister Evans Ofeli for being part of our show today. We truly do appreciate your time.
Pleasure.
Thank you so very much. Peter Shodende, thank you so very much. We truly do appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cyril Abako, thank you as always.
It's a joy.
Thank you.
Very much.
Joma.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. All right, so this is just about the time we have for our show today. I want to believe you enjoyed it just like we equally did right here in the studios. Love to say, please do well to visit us when you want to. You can always find us at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Ikubike.
And I'm Choma Okone.
We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.